All right, Dyson boys, we're back again. Bobby was just saying, it's like, man, there's so much stuff that they put out there at you. It's like, it's hard to figure out what you're going to talk about. It's like, yeah, because they got so much going on.
It's falling apart.
The left is like, all this stuff is just catching up with them.
Yeah.
And we're talking years of stuff.
Yeah, they're falling apart. And it's like a fire drill that got out of hand.
Yeah.
Don't run and scream, and everybody's running, screaming, and jumping out windows and stuff.
Yeah. So, as usual, I'm Jay.
I'm Bobby.
And my baby brother. So, now, all these leakers have been, pretty much you see the focus on Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, but they're not the only ones leaking stuff to the media, back then. Now they're all running, scared, and trying to play defense. Dude, it's too late.
Yeah. I mean, you're busted. It's like, you ask your mom, could you go to go swimming? And then a couple of weeks later, she found out not only that you went swimming, but you went to play baseball at a school that you weren't supposed to go to, that was out of bounds for you. And she finds out that you did that. Okay. And it's like, yeah, well, we went swimming, but did you do this? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what you're in trouble for.
It's like I'm running through the house and she tells me to stop, and she catches me a second time. Then, okay, so now I'm going to go on defense to convince her that I wasn't running through the house, so she'll keep from beating my behind.
Yeah, I wasn't running.
Yeah.
It looked like I was running, but I wasn't running.
So now you got this text message out there between Strzok and Page where they're saying that the Times is angry, the New York Times is angry at them because they leaked something to the Washington Post. I guess the New York Times felt like, hey, man, we have first right of refusal here.
Yeah. What are we, chopped liver?
We're like the grand old lady, right?
Yeah, you come to us last.
You supposed to leak it to us first. Come on, man. What happened?
As they say in something like this, what up with that?
So I guess Page and Strzok got their wires crossed there for a minute. It's like, who are we supposed to leak to today?
Yeah.
Now, I'm interested to know what this media leak strategy is they had going on. I mean, the real details about it, right? You read on one hand, the media leak strategy was a strategy that we were using to combat leaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one lie.
But you were leaking.
Yeah.
Information. So
we were trying to combat leaking by leaking information.
So yeah, we're gonna put the real stuff out there.
We're gonna fix the leaky faucet, by going in here and finding out what was leaking and make it worse.
Yeah.
And then, and then punch a hole in the side of the faucet to make sure that leak ain't the only leak out there.
We're not even going to put a washer up in the faucet.
We're not going to try to fix it.
We,
fix the actual leak. We're just going to leak stuff. I guess that's going to combat. The more water is leaking, the better, I guess. I don't know. That's what we're supposed to believe.
So when I read that, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. So you say your media leak strategy on the one hand was to combat leaking, but then you were leaking information. Hey, I'm going to go with your media leak strategy was how you were going to leak the information. And I guess you leaked the information wrong one time because the New York Times is upset because you leaked it to the Washington Post before you leaked it to them.
Yeah.
So your strategy got a little bit messed up.
Yeah, and NYT got a little upset about that.
They got a little warm.
Yeah, they weren't too happy about
that. They weren't too happy about that. So, it's like, you guys, you don't stop with the lies. You folks on the left, you don't stop. Even when you get busted, you try to reframe your lie.
Yeah.
It's like with the media leak strategy. Oh, what that really was is we were trying to combat leaking.
Combat leaking. You know?
No, we know what it really was.
And we're going to put out the fire. So, hey, give me that can of gasoline. So I'm going to go over here and throw it on this fire and put it out. Yeah. Okay. And we're supposed to believe this.
Yeah, we're supposed to believe it. We're supposed to say, okay, man, we got it. We got it straight now. We know what you guys were doing. You were trying to stop the leaks by leaking.
By leaking, you know. And it's all boils down to the fact that they think the American people are stupid.
Yeah.
You know, they hold you in contempt because, you know, you're in America and you're supposed to believe anything we say. I had a argument, really, with a friend of mine yesterday, you know, about opinions. You know, and I tell people all the time, you know, your opinion is just that, your opinion. Your opinion isn't truth, okay? Now, if we're trying to get to the truth of something, my opinion and your opinion really don't count because the truth is what it is. It stands on its own, you know. And I made a comment about, she said, don't throw the trash out the window. You know, I wasn't throwing the trash out the window. I was just holding it in my hand. I said, yeah, I like throwing the trash out the window is somehow going to affect the environment, you know, inversely, if I throw this one little piece of paper out the window. Well, you know, climate change and global warming, I'm like, oh, God, here we go. You know? And so this is something to, you know, basically, well, that's my opinion. You know, after we knock down all the nonsense, it gets to, well, that's my opinion.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, your opinion, but your opinion isn't what we build on as to coming to the truth of the matter. You know, is there such thing as global warming? Yes. Is it caused by man? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not the first time that climates have changed, you know, which I was trying to get her to understand. Yeah, but no, that's an assumption you're making. You know, I think man's efforts on Earth are making a climate change. That's your opinion. You can't prove that. Well, what you're saying is opinion too. I can prove that climates do change. That is historical fact. Climates do change. You know, this isn't abnormal.
Yeah.
You know, and I told her about she was born in 1907. When you were born, they were saying it was global cooling. You know, the Earth was getting colder. Then by the 80s, we had holes in the ozone. Then in the 90s, it was global warming. Then after 2000s, it was climate change. You know?
Yeah.
You know, this constant nonsense they keep throwing at us about this, that, and the other assumes that we're stupid. Well, it takes for granted we're stupid people.
Well, it's like with again going back to the media leak strategy. Okay, so you're busted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of saying
leaking stuff.
Well, yeah.
You're busted. And so now you're going to try to reframe it to get us to believe, you know, man, we were in there and we were trying to stop the leaks. Well, you did a piss poor job, man, because the leaks kept coming.
Yeah, well, you really bite at stopping leaks.
So you're leaking sensitive and classified information out to the news media, and then when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar and Congress comes to you, hey, we're investigating this, you stonewall.
Yeah, you stonewall.
You stonewall. And then you heavily redact the stuff that you do release to Congress.
Like it's critical, you know, to a national security.
Yeah.
No, it's critical to you staying out of jail. That's what it's critical to.
If you were concerned about national security, you would not have been leaking sensitive and classified information in the first place.
And it's not just that. Like with the Trump collusion thing. Well, there were Russian spies in the Trump campaign. Well, why didn't you tell the Trump campaign that?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell them we're investigating Russian spies? You know, you guys need to look at. No, that's not what you did.
Yeah. You
use that mocked up nonsense to investigate so you can get a class, what is it, 1 FISA warrant to look at not only the person you claim was the person you were looking at, you get to look at everybody else's stuff too.
You get to pick and choose.
So you were surveilling everything this guy did and the people he did it with. But yet, you never told the Trump campaign that they had a spy in the midst. As soon as they found out that there was a spy in the midst with Dianne Feinstein, that she had worked with her for 20 years, they had told her immediately. Did they get a FISA warrant to look at the dude? No, you warned her.
Well, see, remember when Trump says, "Hey, there's a spy in the midst. I'm being, my offices are being bugged." Oh, he was out of his mind.
He was out of his mind. He said, I'm being bugged. Everybody, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
He's deranged.
Yeah.
He's delirious.
He's paranoid.
He's paranoid and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Now we know that he wasn't lying.
Yeah.
You were surveilling him. Mm-hmm. And his campaign.
Yet and still, even looking at some of the evidence that is out there now, and there's more to come.
Yeah, there's plenty more to come.
Looking at the evidence, you're still holding on to your lie.
Yeah.
Still holding on to it. Now, we got this special prosecutor, Robert Mueller, who has for almost 2 years been doing something. I don't even know what this guy's doing anymore. Okay? And it started out Trump-Russia collusion. And he was basing all that he did on this leaked information.
Yeah.
This contrived information. When he found out that they used the FISA courts to continue to surveil and investigate and probe, when he found out that they used that dossier, he should have immediately turned on his investigation over to these guys. But no, you're going after Trump associates.
Trump collusion.
Yeah. You're still going after Trump.
And then when you could find no collusion, you start just going after the people that are associated with him. Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get them to flip.
And the news media, the DNC propaganda wing of the DNC was saying, now we got it, because this guy's going to turn on Trump, and and then nothing happened because they were false flagging you. They were trying to get you all bent out of shape about Trump. So now it's about impeaching Trump. Since you can't get any collusion going, well, we're going to impeach him. We need to win the Congress back so we can impeach him.
Well, and there's a two-pronged attack with that. On one prong, you have impeachment. On the other, they're trying to use the 25th Amendment.
Yeah.
By any means necessary is what it really comes down to. So, do you actually think that his cabinet's going to come and says, he's mentally unfit? Did you see the guy on CNN yesterday? I can't remember his name. Was talking about how Trump is like his cognitive abilities.
Yeah, I've heard that idiot.
Were really weak. And I'm listening to this guy, and it's like, so his cognitive abilities are weak and suspect. How did this guy become a billionaire?
Yeah. How did that?
How did he do that?
Yeah.
If his mental capacity, as you put it, is suspect and shaky, how did he do that?
Yeah. He just he Forrest Gumped his way to being a billionaire.
And he was so weak in his mind, and the guy was talking about he can't communicate properly, etc., etc. This guy has negotiated $1 million deals.
Yeah.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, dude. And hold on. And then I'm listening to this guy, and it's like, you're the one that's deranged.
Yeah. You have the problem. You're doing what you claim he's doing. You're doing the exact same thing. You're making all these irrational points, all these irrational statements about a man, based on, what you've seen him talk. This isn't proper. This, that, and isn't proper. The way he does this isn't proper and all that. Now, this dude has taken down your deep state entrenched crap in the CIA, the NSA, the DOJ, and the State Department And you guys are still trying to, he's weeded those people out of the apartment. All these people we're talking about now, all of them are fired. Except for Bruce Orr, who's singing like a canary. And so you're trying to say this guy is inept when he's taking you apart.
Well, when you hear them say stuff like that consistently, that means to me, and probably a lot of other people, is he's got you guys so rattled that you don't know what else to do but say stuff like that about the guy. It's not you're trying to convince me that Trump has no cognitive abilities or lacks communication skills. It's not you're trying to convince me. You're trying to convince yourselves and everybody else in your bubble.
That's in the bubble.
That's who you're trying to convince, because you know that most Americans out there aren't buying. When you have 88% of Republicans approving and 90% of Democrats disapproving of Trump, what does that tell you?
What does it tell you?
What does it tell you? You guys are deranged.
Yeah.
And so you go out there and you get in front of a microphone and you start saying this crazy stuff about the guy. It's like, if he was all that, if he did not have cognitive abilities, if he wasn't able to communicate properly, and whatever else negative you said about him, how did he beat the smartest woman in the world?
Yeah.
How did he take her out?
Yeah, how did he take her out?
Well, I guess he does have a magic wand Barack.
Yeah.
He was able to take down the smartest woman in the world. Isn't that what they told us in the 90s
about her? All her apparatus that was behind
it.
He defeated the mainstream media, everything that was connected with Hillary Clinton trying to get her to become president. He defeated that whole cabal, the deep state, all of it. They tried to get this woman over the top and they couldn't. And how he did it wasn't by Russian collusion, is he connected with the American people. He understood the frustration that the American people have had over the past 4 administrations before his. And he knew that was out there.
So that machine that she had in place that was going to get her elected president, so the machine was ineffective.
Yeah.
Okay? And you guys' efforts were ineffective. Here it was, the whole media, mainstream media, the DNC, people on the left, professors in these universities. Look at the machine they had arrayed against the guy. And he still came out.
Built over decades.
And he still came out and won that election.
Not by a hair. He smashed her.
Yep.
And then, we won the popular vote. Yeah. And as you tried to run up and grab that, we're going to do recounts, she started losing votes. That's why you quit doing it.
So, how are we supposed to take seriously people like this guy that was on, I wish I'd written his name down, this guy that was on CNN and over on MSNBC, the same thing. How are we supposed to take you guys seriously when you come out and say, he's stupid, he's dumb, he doesn't have the ability to communicate properly, he's tweeting out there. Those tweets mess him up.
That messes them up.
Mess him up. And hey, Twitter can't take down his account. It's like, you take down the president of the United States account. That tells a whole lot about you. A whole lot about you. So if he's all of those negative things, like this guy was talking about yesterday, and another gentleman over on, a female really, over on MSNBC, and you hear him talk about Hurricane Florence. It's Hurricane Florence. That's Donald Trump's hurricane. Oh, he created it.
Yeah.
This dude has one serious magic wand, man.
Yeah. They can't, and like you keep saying, they have been winning without repercussions. They have been getting their way without repercussions. And here comes a guy outside of the cabal. He has nothing to do with the deep state. He had nothing to do with DC. You can't go and find stuff on this guy because he's been public all of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So, the best you can do is a Stormy Daniels story.
Yeah. That just came across my mind. So you come and you get a hoe to try to take him down.
To try to take him down. This is the best you can do. This was your golden BB to take Trump out.
So, Bobby, it amazes me to see those on the left and in that line mainstream media and liberals on a whole just keep coming at him, throwing everything. It's not like he's out there fighting against one or two guys.
Yeah.
This is an entire machine that's coming at him. And he's still standing. And now we have a situation where that machine has been exposed and continues to be exposed. Yeah. And my boy's still standing.
And he's still standing. And now the machine is exposed. Now you can go after them.
Yep.
And he doesn't have to lift a finger. Because hey, wait a minute. They're investigating Google. I'm reading that just before we come up here. I was going to talk about it, but I'll talk about it tomorrow. They're investigating Google for banning a congresswoman because she was getting ready to talk. Was on the committee that was investigating Planned Parenthood for selling body parts. So when she got banned for mentioning that. Mm-hmm. And then that was a mistake we made. And the guy said,
did it on
how
purpose.
did you make a mistake doing that? Well, when you made the mistake, the person, I'll talk about it tomorrow because it's involved. But anyway, they're being investigated. They're being looked at Congress by their methods. Who gives you the right to say this word is hate? Who gives you the right to say, well, this term, can get you banned? Why? You didn't ban Planned Parenthood. Mm-hmm. For selling body parts. Mm-hmm. You want to ban her for mentioning it. Mm-hmm. We made a mistake. Well, we're going to look into that. Mm-hmm. Was it a mistake or was this deliberate? Mm-hmm. And so it's stuff like that. But we're going to rewind up here, but I want to read you some because this is funny. You can find it on the Chicago Tribune under Jack Van Noord. He's a writer at the Chicago Tribune.
Spell his name?
Jack Van Noord. Jack, Jakck, Van, capital V-A-N, Nord, capital N-O-R-N-O-O-R-D. That Van Noord is one word. But I'm going to read a little excerpt from it because I thought the story was hilarious. They got him just as I feared they would. My nephew Kyle came to live with us this summer after his freshman year of college. Apparently, he is now a deputized member of cultural appropriate police. He hadn't even unpacked his massive bag of dirty laundry when he made a snide comment about the 3 straw hats hanging in the hallway collected during our years living in Southeast Asia. The next day, when Kyle and I were backing on the driveway, I called out adios to my neighbor and Kyle mumbled, appropriating much? But then the following Sunday, I heard Kyle ask my wife if we had any sunscreen he could borrow. Brenna and I are going kayaking. I put my head around the corner. Kayaks? You mean that watercraft appropriated from the Inuit people of the Arctic region? Quick on his feet, Kyle recovered and retorted, I mean, say, we're renting canoes. As a canoe that was developed by the indigenous people of North America. Stymied, Kyle canceled his plans, and he and Brenna spent the day quietly on a park bench. It's more to the story, but you should go check that out at the Chicago Tribune under Jack Van Noord. Because it's quite funny. Kyle's trying to not appropriate different cultures, and each time he does something, and his uncle tells him, that's appropriated. He wouldn't even go out the sliding glass door because he told him it was appropriated from Japanese shoji skirts.
So this is the kind of stuff that our higher learning institutions are filling these kids' heads with. Instead of teaching them something that is going to be useful for them in their later years, you're teaching them teaching them about cultural appropriation. Is that a new class they have?
Yeah.
So I can get a degree in cultural appropriation, so I can walk around and tell everybody, hey, don't use this, don't use that, because that's appropriated from a different culture. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I guess I like corn. I got to stop eating corn now because hey, that's what the Indians grew. They called it maize. I guess I have to stop eating rice now because that's from Asia. Yeah. I'm appropriating.
Potatoes, you can't eat French fries.
Huh?
Can't eat French fries.
I can't eat.
Because that's from South America.
Yeah. So because I'll be culturally appropriating these things. How stupid.
Yeah.
But hey, these young minds,
yeah.
these young impressionable minds, these lunatic leftist professors know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. And it starts from the time they're little kids. You know, it's this idea of everybody gets a trophy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody's
you know more than anybody else,
and
they're
nobody
else.
You. Like you say, you know, everybody's got to drive the powder blue Prius. You know, this stuff is being put in these kids' mind. You know, any aggression or any idea, especially in young males, of them being aggressive and, you know, and acting like young boys, you know, well, we need to put him on drugs. You know, you're trying to make these kids pliable to your nonsense, and they can't read, they can't write,
mm-hmm.
they can't think, mm-hmm. they can't do the normal stuff that they need to do to make themselves effective in their lives out here. And that story is just a prime example. This guy ends up hauling a yard of dirt in a 5-gallon bucket because his uncle told him that the wheelbarrow was appropriated from the Chinese. You know, and so now for $50, something he could have got done in 10 minutes, it takes him 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, the foolishness
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
of it, you know, and he doesn't see, man, I'm being a fool.
Yeah. Now, whose cognitive abilities are being destroyed?
Thank you.
And by whom?
Yeah. Kyle isn't going to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Until Kyle gets his, you know, this culture appropriate crap out of his head.
Yep.
You know, you can't eat French fries. You can't drink tea. Tea, you know, French fries. But like I say, potatoes. You can't eat potatoes. You can't drink tea. You can't do a whole bunch of things
mm-hmm.
because it's appropriating another culture. Who came up with that nonsense?
Some lunatic leftist. All right, get the smash.
All right, everybody, we appreciate your
mm-hmm.
comments. We appreciate your subscribes, and hit that like button. Smash that like button, I should say. Hit the subscribe button, and hit that ding that bell so you can be up on every time we post a video. And again, we appreciate you people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right.
Appreciate you people. Appreciate your comments, and we're hoping in the future that I wanted to put this out here today. That, you know, if maybe some of you might not feel like you have anything to say, really, you know, because maybe you don't feel like you're up on stuff. But, you know, the fact that you make a comment about something, you know, lets other people know that you are up on stuff. You know, maybe you might not have all the details and the facts yet to express it to yourself. But hey, you still comment, you still, you know, even a like tells people, hey, somebody else is seeing things
mm-hmm.
the way I am, you know. And it's all about forming that community where everybody, you know, is on the same page, and we're all trying to do the same thing. This is about saving America, and you all know that. And that's why we make these videos, to try to help you understand, you know, better that, hey, you're not alone. You're not the only one, you know. And that's, you know, and we appreciate you people and want you to know that.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. You guys have a great Thursday, and stay safe out there.
Yes. Bye.